So today on Regulate Your Nervous System with Maria Brown, I have the amazing Irene Singh, and you are going to learn about a new nervous system regulation technique that will just blow your mind. And it's called the Cellular Alignment Technique. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss this episode.
Hey, it's Maria Brown. Turn the volume up now. We're dialing in your day from the inside out. Regulate your nervous system. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the rhythm. Oh, from stress to steady, watch you listen and grow with Maria Brown on the mind body flow. Regulate your nervous system.
Welcome back to Regulate Your Nervous System with Maria Brown. I am here today with Irene Singh, and I'm just so thrilled that you're joining us today. Welcome. How are you
Thank
doing today? I'm so thrilled to have you here.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks so much, Maria.
I'm going to do this introduction because what you sent me is just amazing. Irene Singh is an elite performance coach specializing in rapid identity transformation. I can't wait for you to explain that. And she has amazing accelerated results. She has invested over $300,000 in her own development and certification in this cellular alignment technique. And Irene combines deep inner work with high-level execution strategies to help clients achieve meaningful breakthroughs in record time. I'm signing up right away. Her journey is marked by resilience. After experiencing multiple consecutive personal losses, she transformed her life from a place of disconnection and survival into one of clarity, power, and fulfillment. Along the way, she healed a severe gluten intolerance and achieved 85% growth in her investment portfolio within her first year of investing. Irene now works with individuals ready to move beyond limitation and create a life that reflects their highest potential quickly and decisively. That is awesome. So I'm curious about how this technique came to be in your life. Like, why did you feel drawn to learning this technique, or did somebody perform this on you as you were going through your own trauma?
Yes, so I was coming out of one of the toughest years of my life. I had multiple successive losses. It started off the year with a divorce of a marriage from for 20 years, and then my son became estranged. I lost my father. 6 months later, we've lost my mother because she was also sick, and I just felt it was like my darkest moment. It was just so much loss in such a short frame of time. I felt like I was lost and really disconnected from my life and just going through the motions and feeling like an empty shell, going to work, eating, sleeping, waking, and not enjoying life, not really being present, and thinking, what is the point? Why am I here? And it wasn't until I was introduced to this coach who performed this technique and I started to really feel things shift really fast. And it it took me from being in a place of utter despair to being able to enrolled in an investment course because I had promised my mom when she was sick that I would learn how to invest because that's something that she really wanted all of us to do, but she specifically wanted me to do. And I promised her that I would. And I very grudgingly enrolled for this course. And in one of the classes, she had introduced this coach to me, and something that he said just resonated with me. We booked an exploratory call, and I just felt called to sign up with him and learn this and experience this, and it's completely transformed my life. And so I went from being a complete novice, knowing zero about investing, to learning everything about that class, as well as being able to make a significant return on my portfolio and feeling confident and able to make decisions about my finances. And that feels amazing because it's a new place of where I've never been before, as well as just feeling connected to my life and feeling a new sense of purpose and new sense of love and being able to enjoy just being able to travel. I mean, being in Bali with you was amazing and
It was.
going to wonderful places like Maui and all within the past year, just experiencing life at its fullest and enjoy it. And that is worth more than all the money in the world because you could have all the money in the world and if you don't enjoy it, if you don't enjoy your life, there's really no point in having it.
I'm really curious to learn more about this technique. You and I did a little bit of it after we returned from Bali, and we did it on the phone when I was having some trauma flashbacks from my own trauma that I went through with my son, and it was really effective. And we did like a tip of the iceberg, right? So tell me about the cellular alignment technique and how was it used for nervous system regulation?
So, it's a combination of techniques that I've learned from my coach, who has spent over $1 million in his own personal development, and he also grew up with a naturopathic doctor as a father, and his family is all into healing. So he knows a lot of these practices. He knows a lot about breath work, um, and combined with the breath and tapping and smiling. It's a very simple technique that pulls your body out of fight or flight, which are allergy and addictive responses. And everything has an equal push and pull effect on the body. And when you experience trauma, it gets stored in every single cell of the body. It's not just the mind. And this technique can let go of that stored trauma in minutes. And as you experienced, it's pretty fast. And there are about 20 different variations of the technique, and they're all effective. They're used in different situations, but they're all designed to get the fastest transformation possible. And when you try to achieve a goal, you might always seem to fall short of it, or you might struggle and struggle and struggle and try to get there, or you might get it and then you lose it. Those are all examples of fight or flight responses because some part of your body has not let go of the trauma. When you tap, when you breathe, when you regulate your nervous system on purpose, it helps your body release.
And I remember I had been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and it was in the evening when you did that with me, and I had the best night's sleep that night. So I was really grateful. I think I texted you the next day just to let you know how much better I was feeling. You went from this darkness to this experience to everything kind of opening up for you where you moved through those dark moments and we're able to see the light again. We're able to find joy. And anybody who has experienced trauma or grief to the extent that you were experiencing grief, there's that dark pit in your stomach. You're anxious, you can't sleep. There's just this awful, awful feeling inside, and you're like, is this ever going to stop? Right? I know what that's like. Can you walk us through what happened in that first session that you had with the coach that introduced this technique? Can you actually walk us through what that's like?
I had an introductory session with him where he walked me through just a simple alignment to get an idea of what alignment is and how to do it. And I can walk you through that process. It's a very
Yeah.
simple technique. So it's a combination of techniques. It's tapping, breathing, and smiling, and it helps the body release stored emotion and trauma, and it gets rid of the allergy and addiction responses that they have to the trauma. So you take 3 deep breaths in and out, and then you switch the breathing to regulate the nervous system. You know better than anybody that the deep breath calms your nervous system down, and then you switch it to fight or flight breathing, the panting, and it's quick in and out breathing. Sounds like if you think of a dog panting. And then at the same time, you're going to tap from your forehead to the back, C7 to the back of your neck. And you do 1 deep breath in, deep breath out 3 times, and then you switch the breathing to panting, and then you smile. The smile releases endorphins to make the change permanent.
Amazing. I absolutely love that. And who is the person who developed this technique? What is that person's name?
His name is Tyler Watson.
Taylor Watson. He was able to bring in all of these somatic techniques really to quickly have a shift, especially when it's connected to trauma. What do each of the steps actually do in the body? Can you
So
go through exactly what they're doing in the body at each step of the way?
Sure. So if you imagine the trauma is a rock, and you throw it into a pond and it creates ripples.
Hmm.
If you take pebbles and you throw them into the pond, they create other ripples, which are like the micro tapping that you do, where you imagine the waves when they intersect, they cancel each other out. The ripples from the bigger rock and then the pebbles create little waves, and you're canceling out the signal of that trauma. And
Just like EFT,
it's
right?
a similar technique. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Except you're tapping exactly where you feel it. So where you're storing the trauma, you can actually tune in and feel where you're storing it. Because usually through multiple sessions, we go through where it moves in the body. Because once you clear it from one spot, you'll be more aware of where else you're storing it. And then step by step, you clear it. The most prominent one was in your gut, and that's where you felt it most. And if I asked you to tune in to where it was, your awareness would be in a different spot. It could be your shoulders, it could be your chest, it could be your head or your throat. It varies depending on where you're storing your trauma.
I did feel energy moving and I felt really energized afterwards, probably from the panting. Yeah, I felt that moving in my belly when I was tapping, especially up in the solar plexus area. I could really feel it in there. And then what happens with the next step?
Well, simultaneously, you're regulating your breath so that you're
Hmm.
calming your nervous system down. So you're telling your body that it's safe from the trauma, and then you're deliberately tricking your body into going into fight or flight through the panting breath. At the same time, you're tapping the trauma and you're releasing the trauma, and you're canceling out that signal. And then when you smile, you release endorphins. Your body doesn't know that it's a fake smile. So as long as you have a smile, it releases the endorphins, and it makes the whole reaction permanent.
And I love the combination of the two breaths because that like really creates resilience, right, within the internal environment. And then the release of the endorphins, I guess, is to allow for new neural pathways to form. Is that what is happening in the brain?
When the trauma is signaling to the brain that I'm still here, and you're neutralizing it while regulating your breath, it's rebuilding the way that your body reacts to that trauma.
It's telling the brain that you're safe.
And it aligns your body, which means that it brings your body to a place of choice. So you're completely in choice, and you can choose to experience that pain, or you could choose not to, but you are no longer addicted to it.
Any other parts of the steps that we missed? We did. What is the focus for going from the top of the head down to the C7 vertebrae?
That's along a meridian, and when we do it in person, I can tap on the back of your neck down to your tailbone. As long as you're going down the meridian, you can also tap from your chest all the way down to your navel, but you have to do it harder because you have to make sure that it connects to your back, your central nervous system.
That's fascinating. Can this be used for things other than trauma? Right? Because there's all different types of trauma, right? There's acute trauma, there's complex trauma, but can it be used for other things besides trauma?
I'm so glad you asked that. What an excellent question. It's not exclusive to trauma. It's for anything that you have a fight or flight response to. So a lot of people have allergies and addictions towards money, to the relationship with money, and they grow up with the belief that you have to struggle and work hard to earn a living, and the more money you make, the harder you have to work, and then you don't have any time. That's a belief. An addiction to a belief that doesn't serve you, to a non-ideal. And you can neutralize that. And it can be very specific to amounts of money, to the time it takes to make money. You can have every combination under the sun, and depending on your life experience will depend on how many blocks you have or how many blocks you've developed. And part of what the coaching helps do is identify those blocks, vocalize them, connect back with your body to bring it back to a place of choice so that you can move and hit your targets and goals in record time as fast as humanly possible.
That's amazing. I'm sitting here thinking about like my generation, because you described like the household of my generation. Like, you kids think that money grows on trees and we just have it. You have to work hard for your money. So anybody who's in my generation, if you're in the last of the baby boomers, this is you. Call Irene. She's got the solution for you to move past your money blocks. Yeah. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's like really sad because that's the way we grew up.
It's not just about money, it's your identity. Any identity shift that you want to do, and you're not quite reaching it, or you feel that you're working a lot harder and you're still not reaching it, then it's most likely an allergy or addictive response, which you need to clear. And everything from relationships, health, wealth, and your own personal power.
I think that that's a huge issue for so many people. I remember even when I first retired from what I used to do as a professor and as a teacher, without those titles anymore, I was like, who am I? Right? Because I identified with those titles for so long. And then all of a sudden, it's like you're losing yourself. Like you don't really know who am I? What am I supposed to be doing now? I see so many clients that could really benefit from this technique. So I'm so glad that you just put all those little pieces together for me. I have such a clear picture on it, especially having gone through it and experienced it for myself. So is there anything that we didn't touch on that you would like people to know about what you do or how you use this technique, or the different types of situations that you've worked with, or a really cool success story that you've had?
Well, of course, my favorite success story is mine. I can't tell you what a huge difference it's made in terms of where I was and where I am now. I had no intention of becoming a coach or getting certified. I just wanted to feel okay again, and I just wanted to feel like I could live my life again. And it's done that plus plus plus. I feel like I want to share this with people, and I want people to know that they don't have to stay stuck. They don't have to live in misery. And yes, I would love to help people achieve their goals financially, relationship wise, health wise. But what I really am after is to get the message out to people who are suffering and who are in pain and who don't see any other way, because I was doing a lot of techniques of trying to get myself out and journaling and gratitude lists, and it helped a bit, but it didn't quite get me there. And I'm sure it would have gotten me there eventually. This is a much faster way.
And I love you've taken on this leadership role to share with a global community. It's so easy through podcasts, through the internet. You can easily share your message and share this quick technique. And I will say, you and I were our own first experiment. And having those rapid techniques when you don't have anything to work off of. I remember when I first was going through my trauma with that anxiety, the only thing that I could find out there was the tapping and binaural beats to shift my brain waves. I didn't know anything about breath work. I didn't know anything about somatic work, and it wasn't a lot out there. In the past 6 years, a lot more has come out, and I feel like everyone's got friggin' trauma, right? At some level, everyone's got friggin' trauma. And if you need this rapid transformation, this technique is out there. And I had never heard of it before you and I had that conversation. And I just think it's amazing. It blows my mind. And I hope that anybody who's listening to this, if you're curious about learning more, at the end of this podcast, there will be more information on how to contact Irene. When you think about living life with a completely regulated nervous system, what does that look like for you? And maybe you're living it right now, but what does that really look like for you when you are just in rest and digest mode, when you're not in fight or flight and you're just in this state of calm? What does that look like for you in your life?
So this technique has is given me the tools to be able to address basically anything that comes my way. And it's not to say that things in life won't be stressful. It's just being able to move through it and identify your resistance and being able to bring yourself back to a state of choice, because everybody's going to have the fight or flight responses. I definitely have my fight or flight responses, especially when my son calls me with his bills. But it's being able to bring yourself back to a place where you have a regulated nervous system and that you're not stuck there and that you can take action in a way that best serves you.
I love that. And it's almost like being able to pause so that you can respond instead of react, right? When you
Exactly.
have that regulation. And so, for anybody out there that's listening, what would be the first step or one thing that you could recommend to them to begin with a choice to shift?
It would be to decide that you are done with sticking to your old habits and patterns. And once you've made that decision, the rest is just a matter of learning the technique and doing the technique.
Anything else that you'd like to share with the audience?
Mm. I hope everyone at least learns the technique so that they can make their life better and move faster towards whatever you want, whatever your heart's desire. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful place to be. And I share it with everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a guest. And again, if you're out there and you're listening and this podcast resonated with you, you want to reach out to Irene, you will be able to do that. If you like this podcast and want to hear more, follow, subscribe, share this information with those people who you think could benefit the most from it. And I will see you next time on Regulate Your Nervous System with Maria Brown. Have an amazing day.
Hey, it's Maria Brown. Turn the volume up now. We're dialing in your day from the inside out. Regulate your nervous system. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the rhythm. Oh, from stress to steady, watch you listen and grow with Maria Brown on the mind body flow. Regulate your nervous system.